I'm with Key Webb, who played basketball for Golden State Prep, part of the prolific prep program in California. And Key, it's good to be with you here. And let's talk about your motivation. And first off, before I go into this, I mean, I thought when we were discussing what your defining point of the interview would be, I thought it was very brave what you mentioned that you wanted to talk about. And let's talk about just your motivation behind basketball. And I know it was a tough, tragic loss that you turned into an inspiration for you this season.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for having me on. I'm blessed to have an opportunity to be on here. But yeah, no doubt. Just growing up, I was more of a baseball kid. Just played baseball, and then as I was getting older, I grew, and then freshman year, I really started basketball. And I didn't love it necessarily. I just played, kind of just all my friends played, and then I started to get better and better, and then I kind of started taking it serious, and then about halfway through my senior season, my best friend, Caden, committed suicide. So that was a really hard loss for me, losing him. Growing up with him, going to school with him my whole life. So, like, that just turned a switch on me inside. Like, why not for him? Like, what's my why? Like, so that's when I started to just lock in and start training. And like, I took it serious before, but I feel like I just kicked into another gear with trainings and just multiple times a day and just focusing on the little details and just adding to my game to get to the level to push myself to where I am today, for sure.
Yes, and I know it's not an easy topic, and I appreciate your willingness to open up about this. And can you tell us a little bit about Caden and maybe something that our listeners can learn from him, maybe a good quality he had or a funny story or something that he brought that we can all remember?
No, yeah, no doubt. My favorite thing about him is, like, his energy. It's contagious. Like, he always had a smile on his face. Like, he always, he's always coming in, like, the locker room just, like, amped up, or he'll come over when all our friends are over, and he's always like, where's the music at? So, like, you always knew Caden was there. So that was just, like, he would always come and have that energy. He'd always be dancing and yelling the songs. So, like, just his energy and just his contagious personality was, like, that's just, like, my favorite thing about him is just seeing him smile and just seeing him be himself.
Mm-hmm. And to go through something like that, especially at such a young age, how did you cope with that loss, and how did that end up shaping your approach to basketball? Like, were there particular realizations that made you mentioned a little bit about the training, that made you recommit to the game in a new way?
Yeah, like, honestly, my main thing is, like, you never know, like, when your time can be. And so, like, seeing him go at such a young age was just, like, to me, like, why not? Like, I'm blessed to, be in the situation I am, play the game I love, at such a high level. So I just feel like that to me is just, like, why not me? Why not us? So I just started pushing myself just in realization, like, you never know when things can go south. So just always pushing, keeping my head up, really, and just using that as motivation. Like that's my brother, so it's like I know he'd be proud of me, and he wouldn't want me to take reps off or take days off, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And what role has basketball played in helping you through that difficult time? Like, how has it been an outlet or source of strength for you?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, basketball was huge. Like, I had a great team, which was like a family to me. So I had a great support system, and it just took my mind off it, because I feel like when I'm on the court, like, I just can be myself. I just flow. I just be me, play my game, high energy, be with my guys. So that's what really just was a huge part in it. Not making me, obviously, I think about it all the time, but, just like being able to just stay focused on the grind and have something positive in your life that, like, a basketball is never going to betray you. So it's like having that is just like, it's always going to be there. So just having that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then during an event of that magnitude, when the times hit, that, and I can relate to this, just I remember losing my dad 5.5 years ago, and what kept you motivated and inspired when those down times hit, even in the face of such a tough situation?
Really just like my family and friends, like they were all like there for me like immediately, and were just like telling me to push yourself. And I remember one of my mentors, one of my best friends and coaches, that's always been there for me basketball. His name's Cam Bailey, so shout out to him, no doubt. But he always tells me, he said, control what you can control. So I always take that as like, no matter what's going on, like if it's good or bad or whatever it is, like if I can't control it, like I'm not gonna stress on it. So I like to just, keep myself upbeat and control what I can control, and then just keep moving forward and getting better for sure.
And what advice would you give to others? And I ask this, Key, because it just amazes me the level of maturity that you have for such a young age. And we'll talk about, of course, some of your side hobbies and activities here shortly. But what advice would you give to somebody who may be going through similar challenges and looking to find purpose through their passions?
I would say, like, don't try to find ways to feel bad for yourself. I would say, like, try to find the good in it. And I get, like, tragic situations, like, you think, like, there's no way, like, there's no good, which is hard to find the good. But if you can find something that's, like, good in your life, and you can just attack whatever it is, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, softball, whatever, it's a sport or an instrument, whatever it is, like, find something that you love to do and then just put your all into it. Like, take your anger out on something positive.
Wow, nicely said. And King, to get to know you better, let's start off talking about your journey. And first off, tell me, you mentioned playing baseball, and I mean, you grew at some point. Did you hit a growth spurt that ended up, because you're about what, 6'10" or so?
6'11", yeah.
6'11", yeah. From and I remember you seeing you play. Of course, a couple nice dunks you had that I'll remember. And did you hit it like a big growth spurt at some point, or did that kind of come slowly, or when did it kind of click for you in high school?
Yeah, so growing up, like, I was baseball. I went to the Cooperstown tournament, a bunch of perfect game national tournaments, played in the Little League World Series. So all that growing up was just baseball. And then my freshman year is when COVID hit. So, I mean, basketball season had already happened. I just kind of played because all my friends played. And then baseball season got canceled, like, after 3 games. And then after that, like, my trainer, Cam Bailey, he was just like, just get in the gym, just trust me, let's just work. Like, you can just see if you like it, whatever. So I just went every day with him, and then I started growing. So I went from about 6'3" my freshman year to about 6'10" my sophomore year. So I grew about 7 inches over a summer, which was a ton. So then it was just like a no-brainer. That's just like basketball. So I'm glad I put the work in when I did.
Yeah, and talk about your decision to go to Golden State Prep and just how that impacted you.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously, like, a ton of kids want to go D1 or whatever they want to go out of high school, but I feel like this year was one of the hardest recruiting classes for the class of 24 because it's the last year of the COVID year, so you have the portal, you have 25-year-old, 26-year-old seniors. So it's like, why would a college not want to take a 26-year-old man? Like, this is the last year they can get one. So, really, like, that's just that, having that all unfold. So then I was like, why not go prep? They saw me play in high school, and they were just like, we really like you, really think you could blow up your recruiting with us. So I weighed the pros and cons with my family and talked to a few coaches I knew, a few people, and it just felt like the right decision, and clearly it was. So going out there, it was amazing. I mean, great coaching staff, good facilities, good people around me, working for me. So
Yeah, you got, gosh, Coach Jackson out there, and I've had the opportunity to be around him a few times and talk about him, definitely an elite level coach. What's something you feel like you've learned from him that you're going to continue on or carry on to your life?
Yeah, it's more than just basketball for sure. Like, he's a great guy. Like, he's really another father figure to me, honestly. Like, me and him got super close over the 6 months, the season I was there. So, I mean, we still talk on a daily basis. I talk to him every day, whether it's about life, basketball, something funny. Like, it's family. So, really, like, I'll take away from the basketball standpoint, just him always pushing me and just telling me, just believe in myself, trust myself, like, trust the work you put in. So I take that from him. And then off the court wise, just all the lessons he's taught me, just be you regardless. Like, people are going to do what they want regardless. So don't try to please other people. Like, so that's what he's really taught me is, like, don't try to be a people pleaser. Like, obviously be nice and help others. But at a point, it's just like, don't go out of your way to change yourself and lose yourself for someone else.
Mm-hmm. And now moving on, you play at Golden State Prep. You have a big year there, and now you're going to play at San Diego. And of course, Steve Lavin. I mean, UCLA. He had 4 or 5 Sweet 16s and an Elite 8 appearance. And of course, somebody that's highly known across the basketball scene. When was it that moment hit? I know I'm going to San Diego.
Yeah, so I actually flew back out to Napa for a workout in front of a few coaches that they have come out watching work out. So I got out there, and then that night, I get out there the day before my workout, and that night around midnight, I get a text from one of the assistants, and he said, "We'll see you in the morning." And, like, I had no clue they were coming. So I was super stoked. Don't ask me why I was up at midnight the day before workout. But I saw it, and I was like, oh, cool. I shoot him a text back. I was, Coach, thanks for reaching out. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. And so I had talked to a few of my club coaches and our coaching staff at Golden State Prep about San Diego because, I mean, I just love the area. And so, yeah, so I was stoked. They got a ton of cool things going on there, and the coaching staff was just family. And Lavin's a great guy. Like, he's the coach any player would want to play for. Like he'll coach you hard. He'll be serious. He'll be real with you, but at the same time, he's like again like another father figure. Like, he'll always be there for you. Super good guy. You know, he's funny. He's funny when you get to know him. He's super funny. So yeah.
Yeah, and although you've had a lot of success on the basketball court, which, I mean, these past few questions tell, there's off the court as well that you do a lot. And talk about what you do for community service, because I think it's so cool how you give back and are a mentor to youth.
Yeah, no doubt. So I do a few things. I mean, I go to local elementary schools, and I would go read to the kids and hang out with them at recess, stuff like that, which I just enjoy. Like, I remember being a kid when the high school kids or someone older would come to the school, or we'd see them around, or in middle school, see the high school basketball players. Like, I thought they were the coolest people on there. So now that I'm in their shoes and, like, those kids are in my old shoes, it's just like, why not? Like, it's so fun just to see the smiles on their faces and see them happy. And I also, my high school coach actually runs the AAU program out here. So yeah, I go coach for him. I coach second graders, third graders, fifth graders, eighth graders. And then I even help around with the high school guys, which a couple of them were my teammates. So it's fun to just be around those guys, see them grow, and then also give back to the younger generation and see them just start to love the game at such a young age.
That's awesome. And who are some of your role models?
Yeah, for sure. I would say one, Cam Bailey, my mentor. That's kind of my guy. Like, I look up to him a lot, just the way he carries himself. And then my sister, she plays professional basketball, so I look up to her a lot, just the work she put in, and like, she knows what it takes. She played at a Power 5 conference. She played in the SEC in college. So just watching her growing up and seeing her just put in all the work she did, just really just made me like realize like how hard it really is. And like, I'm so blessed. Like, you can't teach height. Like, being 6'11" is a blessing. Like, not everyone's 6'11". So just taking advantage of what I've been and just try to be the best me.
And King, what are your hobbies? I know you're a pretty busy person as it is, but say you get a few minutes off on the side, what's something that you like to do in your spare time?
Really, my spare time, like, I try to make time for the kids because I got the kids I coach always reaching out like, yo, will you come train us or stuff like that. And I love being around the game, so I'll go up as much as I can and get work in with them. Or my friends, I'll hang out with them. We like to just, I don't know, I don't do much besides basketball, and my friends all play basketball, so we just always will go to one of our teammates' house and we'll hang out, we'll hot tub, swim, stuff like that, play the video games. I'm not very big in video games, but they get me on the sticks every once in a while. They'll peer pressure me into getting on. So yeah. And, I could cook. I can cook for real. Like,
yeah. Any particular recipe that you have that's a specialty?
Yeah, I can't tell you the recipe, but I can tell you what it is.
What's that?
Cajun chicken Alfredo. Like, that's my favorite thing. Like,
that sounds like it hits the spot. And who is your favorite NBA player?
I would say Kevin Durant. Like, I just love his game. I love how humble he is. I love the way he plays, stuff like that.
And what would your pregame ritual be?
It changes up to like going from a different school, but my personal one is really like I just like to like take like 5 minutes before we go out on the court or something, and I just talk to myself, and I'll listen to a podcast. It's called the Hard 90 podcast. It's by Zach Sorensen. He's one of the mental strengthening coaches. He was for the Atlanta Braves. Now he's with the Cincinnati Reds. And I grew up going to school with his daughters. So just being around him and learning some mental strengthening things from him have been huge. So I listened to his podcast, just one of them, just a quick, it's like 3 to 5 minute podcast before every game, and it just breaks down just the process of how you feel and just visualization and stuff like that.
And other than what we opened up with on the interview, what would you say from a skill perspective was your biggest challenge to develop?
I really feel like early in high school, like freshman and sophomore year, shooting was the struggle. You could have left me open. You could have just sat in the paint, and it would have been an automatic miss. So, just putting in that work, just getting shots up, just because of how the game is changing. It's positionless, right? You see guards posting up, you see bigs attacking. So, just really adding the extra level to my game to be able to stretch the floor, be able to shoot, mid-range, post up, do everything like that.
And what would your favorite food be?
Favorite food, I will always like me a good steak. Anything. I like good steak, so.
Nice. And what's a cool fact about yourself? Something that not a lot of people know.
I played the piano growing up, so. I still got it in me a little bit. I can play a few songs, so.
That's awesome. What tunes in particular do you know?
Just a bunch of Christmas songs, stuff like that.
And last question, Key, are there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I just want to shout out all the coaches, my family, for sure. Like, all the coaches that believed in me. Coach Steve Lavin, like, taking a chance on me after one workout and just believing in me. So, him and his staff are great. I'm excited to play with them. I want to be with them as long as I can. So really just excited to get out there. So shout out to Coach Steve Lavin and the staff, all my teammates, my family, friends, and you for having me up on the show for sure.
Well, thank you, Key, and thank you for all the great memories as well. And we want to say thank you, the listener, for tuning in to this edition of the Players Spotlight. I'm Tyler Rowland, and thank you for watching this episode. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll have more interviews coming up. God bless you, and we will see you soon.